many people in this room have had the experience of falling in love? That wonderful feeling where the world seems to just slip away and your heart gets all gushy and yummy. All you experience is the bliss you share with your beloved. Many people who have been in long relationships have shared with me that love over time gets to be richer and deeper. However, I've talked to very few who don't long on some level to recapture that time when love is young. Now, what happens if it's possible to recapture that feeling of being in love and sustain it over time? That's what I'd like to talk about this morning. In 2007, I was at a personal growth course back in Florida, and I met an amazing woman. We worked together all week and became very, very close, very, very quickly. After the week was over, we all went out dancing and celebrated. We danced the night away. Afterwards, she asked me to walk her home. We strolled down that proverbial moonlit beach. There were a lot of reasons not to kiss her that night, not the least of which was that she lived 3,000 miles away. But the moment was the moment. I embraced her, and we shared a kiss. The electricity just ran through my body. When our lips parted, she looked up to me and said, "I can die now." Oh. It was a kiss. Several years later, for the next several years, we shared a fantastic relationship. She moved to California, and what we shared absolutely redefined what love can be for me. It was a relationship unlike any other either of us had had. Then one evening, I was relaxing in the living room, feeling really good. She walked into the room and said those 4 words that no one wants to hear. "We have to talk." What she said is that lives have become too challenging and she needed to end our relationship and break our engagement. I felt the energy just flow out of my body. I got dizzy. I couldn't breathe. I felt like I'd been kicked in the stomach. I didn't know what to say. I just exploded in gut-wrenching tears and fell into her arms. We must have held each other and cried for 30 or 40 minutes. She said, "There's nothing to be done." She'd reached a point of no return. After that experience, I asked myself, as I went through the months of healing, what happened here? How did we get from "I can die now" to feeling like I wanted to die? What I had to own was, given my challenges, I had shut down and withdrawn more than I realized. And I also had to own that in my challenges, I hadn't noticed how much she had done the same. That's what happened. And when I think about that, it made me reflect about what happens to love. And my experience is that when we meet someone new, we have that feeling of in love, that happens because the love inside of us comes into the foreground. And all of our stuff, at least for a while, is into the background. Then what tends to happen is that stuff comes back up and can move back into the foreground. And we have that experience of it's not like it used to be. I don't like you anymore. I don't feel loved anymore. I hold that love doesn't go anywhere. It's always as big and as deep as it ever was. It just slips into the background. That's something we can do something about if we notice. To keep our hearts open. Because that feeling of being in love is simply the experience of an open heart. An open heart is not just some idea or some concept. It is an emotional, physiological, and spiritual experience. love doesn't go anywhere. It's like we're Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. We were always home. We just kind of lost track of that as we went through our fears and adventures. If we want to hold on to feeling in love, there are 5 things that I feel we need. The first is awareness. To know what it feels like when we're in love. To know what it feels like when we lose that and our hearts shut down. To be able to be conscious when we feel ourselves slip out and our partners slip out, and be able to approach both of those lovingly and compassionately. The second thing that we need is discernment. Knowing that love is a choice. Opening our hearts is always a choice. Moment to moment. Now. Is my heart open? And if it is, beautiful. And if it's not, what will I do to open it as fully and quickly as possible? The third thing that we need is trust. Trust is an expression of our relationship to ourselves and to the world around us. We all have a part of us that determines whether we are open to let things flow in and out. When our heart is closed, we close like a sea anemone and don't let love in. In that condition, we tend to also not let love out. This is something, without trust, it's impossible to keep our hearts open. Without our hearts open, it's impossible to keep ourselves open to receive and to give and be connected to the world around us. The fourth thing we need is courage. Courage to act, to be outward, to reach out, even when there's a part of us that says that's not safe. That the best thing to do is to run away, or to shut down, or to close, or put up those walls and protection instead of that permeable membrane around ourselves that lets things go in and go out. Finally, we need commitment. I'm not talking about the kind of commitment of, I'll never leave you no matter what, until death do us part. Frankly, I made that vow once, and I meant it when I said it. But there came a point where it wasn't loving to either one of us to stay together. I'm talking about the commitment that says, no matter what, I will be diligent about keeping my heart open. No matter what, I will honor this bond by my commitment to staying open in my heart to you, and expect the same in return. You may say, that's crazy. You're a dreamer, you're an idealist. You can't keep your heart open all the time. Of course not. There are going to be times when it's just too difficult. There are times we're human. We will shut down. That's okay, as long as we're committed to open up again. I know that I am committed to this for myself. And I know it's possible for me to keep opening and opening and opening more and more each day. And I know that there is a partner out there for me with that same level of commitment and passion and willingness to do that. I say, it's possible. It's possible for all of us. And my question to you today is, are you willing? Are you willing to be that diligent and that committed to opening your heart moment to moment? When you feel like you've let yourself down and you're shut down, are you willing to choose love? When you look around at the world and see war and violence, are you willing to open yourself and be a part of making it better, to choose love. When your partner you feel hurts you or lets you down, will you choose love? Dare it. Dream it. Be the love that you are in every moment. Choose love.